Enter another of my contacts, a local producer who shares a nickname with Peru's national dish, ceviche.
Aquí en Perú somos campeones haciendo cosas, nosotros decimos alternativas.
Alternativas falsas.
Sí, somos unos artistas, pero no tenemos el potencial como para ser legales, digamos.
Over the last several years, he's been building connections in Lima's underworld. Specifically, through a man we'll call Diego. Ceviche tells me that the counterfeiting racket in Lima is run by a handful of families, and Diego's gotten tight with one of them. Each of these families controls underground workshops, where old-school offset printers churn out sheet after sheet of fake bills. Criminal organizations bound by blood are notoriously difficult to penetrate. Getting inside one of these operations, especially with cameras, is next to impossible.
Estamos esperando la llamada para que ellos nos citen en un lugar.
¿La cita es con quién?
La cita es con el dueño de la fábrica y su capataz, el brazo derecho del dueño de la fábrica.
¿Qué son los riesgos?
Los riesgos que hay que tomar es muchos. Que nos secuestren, ¿no? Que nos pidan recompensa a alguien y eso va a ser lo peor.
In this business, there are always risks. But I felt okay with a daytime meeting, hopefully somewhere public. That is, assuming they call. 3 hours pass, and still nothing from Diego.
¿Qué tal?
Oye, están yendo para allá, me han llamado.
Yo voy para allá con...
Yo me voy a encontrar con ellos ahí en el colegio Guadalupe y ahí camino para allá. ¿Por qué no venir a tomar un favorito hasta toque? Porque ahorita ya faltan 40 minutos.
When the adrenaline kicks in, I know things are about to get good. We're on our way to meet with a gang of Peruvian counterfeiters in one of the shadier neighborhoods in Lima.
A última hora, a la gente tenía... Pero quedamos en que te ibas a reconfirmar, pero te voy a llamar para...
At the last minute, they change the meeting spot.
Okay. Ya están allá.
Ya están.
Ya están allá.
They're waiting for us already. With the location change, we'll be late to the meeting. Part of me wonders if these guys are looking for an excuse to bail on us. Lima's counterfeiters are extra skittish these days. I would be too if I was being hunted. There have been a series of huge busts recently, including one only days before we arrived that intercepted $5 million in fake bills. The Peruvian National Police gave us this footage. It wasn't at all what I'd expected. I'd imagined these counterfeiting operations happening in warehouses or factories in dark corners of the city, but much of it seems to be happening in residential neighborhoods, on quiet streets, inside garages, hidden in plain sight. Okay, cameras down. For obvious reasons, we couldn't record this initial meeting. But let me tell you how it all went down. I've been on a lot of these underworld first dates over the last 15 years. You never know exactly what you're walking into. At an outdoor cafe, Diego introduces us to the boss and his bodyguard, who is covered in tattoos. One on his arm reads in English, "Only God can judge me." The mood is tense, suspicious. As I always do in these situations, I order beers. Soon after, I'm sharing my unofficial resume. Photos on my phone of me hanging out with men like these from all around the world. Then the food arrives. More talk, more drinks. I then explain that I've heard they're the most talented counterfeiters in the world. You'd be surprised how many doors flattery can open. I knew I'd passed the test when the bodyguard gave me a nickname. He pointed at me from across the table and said, "Mi reina, my queen. You're gonna see amazing things tomorrow night." In any city, there are people who play by the rules and people who don't. Usually, it's hard to tell the difference. Finding my way into the criminal underworld is always an adventure. That's why I love what I do. It's also knowing that once you're in, you get to witness what very few outsiders ever do. A universe governed by its own laws and power structures that teaches us a whole lot about our own.
Ya con eso estamos.
¿Cómo
Todo
te
tranquilo.
sientes?
Ya emocionado.
Sí, yo también. Entonces es mejor salir ahorita, ¿no?
Sí, vamos.
Ok, vamos.
Oye, vamos.
Para tu pato, un pato, mira, llévate 4 patas, 2 soles. 4 patas, 2 soles, casera, mira, buena pata, mami. Pata fuerte, pata cremosita, pura mantequilla natural, amiga. Llévate 4 por 2 soles. Llévate 4 patas, 2 soles.
Game time.
¿Qué?
Pero primero quiere que baje yo para ver dónde va a ser el lugar, para que me expliquen ellos cómo vamos a entrar todos.
Okay. Porque vaya a haber cada uno de cada vez o qué.
Sí, de repente, porque no vamos a entrar todos, porque se va a notar que hay mucha gente y como son gringos, va a haber problemas.
In Peru, like many places in Central and South America, gringos is synonymous with Americans. In this case, the counterfeiters are on guard that any gringos could be Secret Service agents trying to infiltrate their operation.
No vamos a observar desde que vamos a llegar.
Tienen gente que sabe exactamente cuando llegamos.
Claro. Aló.
Ya, escúchame. Antes de entrar al parque, hay el 30 de forma del Ministerio de la Coquera, a la entrada.
Ya.
Listo, peligro.
Ya.
They've told us to meet them here, at a downtown park. Ironically, only blocks from the Palace of Justice. Somewhere in these surrounding buildings, fake money is being made. They've set 2 rules. Only the crew they met with are allowed inside. And once inside, we stay the entire shift, from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. No one leaves. I imagine it's a rush to see your net worth growing with every new sheet of bills coming off the press. You could print yourself out of debt, or into a new car or a new house. It's not hard to see the allure, or the desperation that would cause someone to enter this line of work. 1 hour, no call back from Diego. 2 hours, Diego's phone is off.
¿Qué piensas que pasó? ¿Alguna cosa? ¿Tal vez la policía o qué?
No, o otros que lo hayan quitado el teléfono y lo hayan botado. No sé.
Things aren't looking good.
It's been over 3 hours. And they haven't shown up. I think it's pretty safe to say that we've been stood up. No chance this is gonna happen tonight. Ya, vamos, Triche. Yo pienso que ya esperamos bastante, ¿verdad? No van a venir.
There's nothing worse than getting this close and not coming home with a story. But giving up isn't an option. They are still out there, and I'm gonna find them. Stories go cold. Sometimes you can't explain it. You make a connection, you make plans, things seem to be falling into place. And then you find yourself staring at your phone for a call that never comes. In these moments, I always remind myself that nothing's changed. The story is still out there. Somewhere in the city, offset printing machines are churning out sheet after sheet of fake dollars.
No les importa a qué persona puede engañar.
I just need to find a new way in.
Esta organización criminal, poco a poco nos íbamos dando cuenta que ahí era. Las paredes de la casa estaban revestidas con triple y con ternopor que van a reducir al mínimo la sonora. Esta gente se cuida muchísimo.
Nothing happens as fast as you want it to.
This isn't the safest neighborhood, so we should try to avoid showing off our cameras.
But I have faith that another door will open.
¿Cuáles son las áreas en Lima donde hace más ese trabajo?
Salvador, Ventanillo, pero mayormente los condos.
They were definitely like sussing us out.
Lo que yo sé es que es un círculo bien cerrado. No están así al aire que hablan. Tu palabra vale bastante en ese medio. Todo es palabra nada más. Tu palabra vale más que tu pistola.
Until I can find some of these counterfeiters in the wild, I lean on the contacts I've already made.
¿Cómo fuiste capturado? ¿Dónde estabas?
Lo primero, lo primero.
¿Verdad?
La policía llega, nos tiraron al piso. El coronel dijo que él almorzaba, cenaba pensando en mi nombre cuando me iba a capturar. Ya me tenía ya, pero nunca me podía capturar. A mí me agarran imprimiendo el billete, ¿no? Yo lo tenía casi listo.
¿Por qué eras tan bueno?
Se habían perfeccionado varias cosas. De lo que era el color, todo eso.
Entonces, ¿tú sabes a memoria todos los detalles de todos esos billetes?
Claro.
Tengo dinero aquí. Si me puedes mostrar hacerlo.
Todo es saber los colores de memoria, matizar en el color, nada más. Darle el color preciso. Siempre se trabaja con un billete verdadero y un falso. Y el que estás haciendo, se trabaja así, con esto, ahí.
Okay, so he's showing us how he works.
Su seguridad es esto. Esto de acá, el hilo, nosotros le llamamos el fantasma.
El fantasma, the watermark.
Que siempre se notaba cuando lo ponías nada más. Tiene que ser mejor que este y mejor que este.
Todavía mejor que el verdadero.
Si este es de la competencia, el tuyo tiene que salir mejor. Y siempre con esto. La mayoría de veces yo trabajaba de día. Y los colores tienen que ser a la luz del día para ver el color lo que es. Por decir un día que era un lugar público. A veces trabajaba de día, con la puerta abierta.
En lugares públicos, con otras personas al lado.
No, galerías, imprentas.
No son tipo fábricas grandes con varias máquinas.
No, es una sola máquina.
Eran impresoras legales.
Sí. No, cualquier máquina de imprenta le sabe la luz para eso, ¿no?
Impresionante. Yo pensaba que era así en lugares escondidos.
Cuando se pasaba, tú estabas imprimiendo,
¿Verdad?
¿verdad?
¿No tenías miedo?
¿No?
¿Y nadie sabía?
Nadie sabía. Me dio una marita mágica diciendo no, aquí, aquí. ¿No? Porque siempre que iba no encontraban nada.
Siempre que iban en el lugar de intención, no encontraban nada. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué hacías tú?
Lo cambiaban de lugar.
Ah, siempre cambiaban de lugar.
Por eso era que se cambiaba de sitio. Para que la persona no se dé cuenta de eso.
¿Qué tal, amigo? ¿Cómo estás? Estamos dirigiéndonos al punto, ¿está bien? Estamos cerca. Ok, perfecto. Estamos ahí unos 5 minutos. Perfecto. Listo. Muchas gracias. Chao. Okay, seems that everything is in place.
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Fingers crossed.
It's 5 a.m., and my initial contact in Lima, Fernando, has a new lead on a printer who seems willing to meet with us.
We got this meeting set up in a illegal printing operation where we're going to meet the guy who's supposedly an ink master and finally see what these printing operations look like. What can and can't we do?
What he's told me is basically keep the team as small as possible. Don't call his name in front of anyone. Just keep it low key.
We just want to be absolutely sure that we play by their rules because we want to be able to get this in the bag. Everybody's anxious and nervous and hoping that this will all go as planned.
We park outside a shopping mall and wait for word from our contacts.
Okay, there's two guys walking. Is that him? Right? Just came out. Yeah, Fred, this is him. Okay, he's here. Okay, let's go, guys. Yo sé que está nerviosa. Tiene que tener confianza en nosotros, porque nosotros no queremos que pase nada con usted. Y como periodista, hago eso, ya sabrá, hace 15 años. Y protejo siempre las personas que trabajan con nosotros, le prometo. This is it? Wow, this is incredible. And they're just printing fake money.
It's early morning in Lima, and the smell of fresh ink is in the air. I found my way to a printer who specializes in counterfeit US dollars. It's like no underworld scene I've accessed before. It's so out in the open that I'm actually nervous about it.
Wow, this is incredible. This is amazing. I mean, we're in a printing mall. It's too early, so all the shops are closed. It's this surreal scene where we walk down these corridors and everything was closed, and then suddenly there's a bright light here, and they're just printing fake money.
No es entrado en todo. El dueño del circo soy yo, sino que el payaso gigante me lo ordena. Yo soy en otra palabra, yo soy el cerebro en esto.
Printing is the most daring aspect of fake note production. It's loud, it's long, and it's often done in public locations like this. It's also very difficult. It takes years to learn the secrets of this trade. The inks, the paper, the machine, The process of forging bills is equal parts art and science. Very few have the right combination of talents.
Eso ya tiene la cara de Franklin.
Ese es el primer paso. Ese es el fantasma.
This is the beginning of everything they do here. Every single $100 bill that's done here starts with this metal plate. And it's essentially the watermark, el fantasma.
These plates are made by coveted designers and are critical to the whole operation.
Como el inicio del trabajo, ese es el alma del trabajo. Si no haces bien esto, no vale nada. Ya no sirve nada.
Check this out. All the bills coming out.
Vamos a pasar a la segunda parte, que eso es el fondo.
Ah, the second part is the off-white color of every banknote.
Aquí hay varios colores, no es un solo color.
Generalmente el proceso todo, ¿cuánto tiempo? ¿Por qué tanto tiempo?
Son los colores de tinta, pero cuando cae varios, se pega. Ahora lo vas a ver que se va a pegar.
Y se tiene que dejarlo secar.
Secar.
That is crazy. So the whole process takes a month and a half. ¿Cuántas notas de 100 se puede hacer con una máquina así en un mes y medio?
5 millares de este tamaño.
5 millares
Este tamaño.
veces 12, porque a 12, 6 millones de dólares? No. Holy that's a ton of money. That is crazy. They can make $6 million with a machine that costs them $7,000 to buy here. Y las personas envueltas que trabajan en otros lugares, ¿saben que estás operando eso aquí?
No saben. Imagínate que ven haciendo esto. ¿Quién va a querer callar? Ahorita por esto es problema, es un delito ya. Todos estamos cometiendo un delito ahorita.
The later it gets, the more nervous the printer becomes. We can hear other shops opening, voices echoing down the hallway.
Ahorita vamos a hacer los ratos de esto, porque puede venir, eso sí que lo veo. Esto es normal. Ponte la tinta, todo el papel, toma. Todo el papel. Nandita, lo que salga eso, por favor, rápido.
The mood totally changed and they're super nervous because you can see the $100 bills here, the metal plate. And so they want to do this process really fast.
Sí, es rápido, ¿no? Eso sí ve, ahí sí problema.
Wow, check this out. This is amazing, pero increíble, mismo. We've got the watermark, the background color of the banknote, and now Franklin's face. Yeah, okay. He's hiding everything. They heard that there's somebody walking down the corridors.
Vamos.
You have to go.
As we head for our van, it hits me that what surprised me most about the printer is something that also surprised me about the prisoner. They were both conflicted about their decision to get into counterfeiting, but both realized that perfecting their craft was the best way to stay in demand.
Como cualquier trabajo, un inversionista, un trabajador, como cualquier otro trabajo, ¿no? Lo malo que es ilegal. Solo mi trabajo era imprimir y entregarlo, ¿no? Y ya él acababa de ver otra cosa.
Once the bills come off the printer, there's still work to be done to make a convincing fake. Fernando is able to locate another of Peru's finest underworld artisans, the finisher. His role is to add texture and weight to the bills, so they will pass the touch, look, and turn test. We're driving to Villa El Salvador on the south side of Lima, an area that locals describe as picante, meaning hot. Hot with every criminal enterprise you can imagine.
The cops call it Villa Salvaje because the murder rate is not particularly low.
Is that him?
Just keep the camera up and roll. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Mariana? ¿Todo bien? Te vamos a llamar de Ronaldo, ¿ok? Porque no quieres tu nombre verdadero, entonces como eres la caballista, como el jugador de fútbol portugués, Cristiano Ronaldo. ¿Está bien? ¿Puedes mostrarnos solo lo que compraste muy rápido? He's going to show us the stuff that he just got.
Es la esponja.
So it's a sponge, a regular.
Esto para ser más exacto, para el corte de los...
This is for cutting the notes to make a straight cut.
Y esto para pegar, para que tenga otra textura el papel.
Cuando compras todos esos materiales, cuando compraste eso y todo, ¿tú no tienes miedo que van a sospechar que estás haciendo esas cosas?
No, porque es una cosa sencilla, pues, ¿no? Que se pueda comprar, pues, ¿no? Normal, pues, ¿no? Como útiles escolares, ¿no? Pues, no hay nada sospechoso en esos materiales.
The US spends millions and millions of real dollars to deter counterfeiting. And these counterfeiters get around it with school supplies. In an effort to look less conspicuous, we plan to meet back up in his workshop. We sneak in our cameras in bags. I wonder if his neighbors have any idea what's happening inside this room. If they only knew. My search for the makers of the finest counterfeit bills in the world has brought me to this working-class neighborhood outside of Lima. And to this man. They call him the finisher, and his skills are in high demand.
¿Me puede explicar el proceso que estás haciendo?
Lo primero, esto es una plancha. Remojamos en una tina con lejía y con vinagre para que pueda salir el color verdadero de un billete.
It's a painstaking process, all done by hand. With a popsicle stick, he applies glue for weight and texture.
Ahí está
Sí.
el exceso.
Que quede liso.
To get the feel just right, he adds what he calls English cornstarch,
Pero
which I recognize instantly.
eso se pone con leche para los niños. ¿Para qué comer? Para comer. It's a thing you make for kids porridge. I used to eat it when I was a kid.
Con eso vamos a vertir en las partes donde tiene que tener relieve. El inglés tiene un brillecito, un brillo que le va a dar al papel.
¿Puedo ver? Ya lo sé, siento aquí un poquito. You can really feel the texture, it's changed. It's amazing.
He says he also works on hundreds and 50s, but 20s are easier to fake and much less scrutinized. With just a few items you can get at any corner store and a whole lot of patience, the touch, sound, and smell of the bills are totally convincing.
¿Tu familia sabe que haces eso?
No, la familia no sabe, nadie sabe.
¿Nadie?
No,
Entonces ahorita piensan que estás dónde.
que estoy trabajando, que estoy haciendo un cachuelo, ¿no? Un trabajo extra.
Si tu mujer lo descubre, ¿qué puede hacer?
Aléjame de mis hijos.
Entonces tú tienes un otro trabajo.
Sí, ser chofer,
¿Y haces más dinero haciendo eso o haciendo el chofer?
haciendo esto,
¿Cuánto más?
el doble. El doble.
¿Y piensas a veces que con el trabajo que estás haciendo que estás engañando personas, que personas
pierden dinero.
Sí, se me ha pasado por la cabeza, pero prefiero no pensar en esas cosas. El dinero pasa de mano en mano y de todas maneras dinero es dinero y afecta a todo el mundo, ¿no? Y pensar en mí y en lo que yo necesito.
It's always fascinating to me how people end up working in black markets. In many ways, counterfeiting is just another crime of opportunity. A driver by day discovers he has the extraordinary patience and craftsmanship to finish bills by night. A printer specializing in calendars and business cards realizes he can deploy the same machines and skills to produce stacks and stacks of fake bills. But all the time and work that goes into making a convincing fake is worthless if those bills don't reach the legal economy. And that's where this man comes in. They call him the Burrier, a Peruvian mashup formed from the Spanish word burro, meaning donkey, and the word courier.
Hay dos modalidades de hacer esto. La modalidad momia, que es pegar en el cuerpo. Ponen todo hasta abajo, hasta los tobillos, y con una casaca grande pasa. Prefiero yo la modalidad de la maleta de doble fondo. Simplemente me llaman, agarro la maleta, me lo llevo, regreso y nada más.
Tú, que si te dijeran antes de tener familia, un día vas a hacer un crimen así, vas a hacer una cosa criminal así, que tú pensarías que sí, que sería posible o...
Hice este trabajo porque estaba económicamente mal. El carro malogrado, vendía las cuentas de mi casa, todo esto. Y por eso me atreví a hacer esto. Lo veo muy riesgoso eso. Claro que siempre cuando salgo me encomiendo a Dios, como todos nosotros nos encomendamos a Dios, que no nos pase nada en el camino, ¿no?
Entonces, con todos esos riesgos, ¿por qué estás hablando con nosotros?
Así como tomé el riesgo de llevar, me estoy tomando el riesgo ahorita de entrevistar. O sea, como quien dice, tengo los huevos para hacerlo. Yo estoy llevando, como decir, una encomienda, ¿no? ¿A dónde llega? No me interesa.
Counterfeiting networks know that some portion of their shipments will be confiscated, so they employ an army of ants who transport fake bills into the US. By airplane, by car, by boat, on foot, they even ship fake bills through the mail. But getting these fake bills into the country isn't enough. They need to get them into circulation. The counterfeiting game is all about getting change.
What you might do is hit different shopping centers. Going down a highway corridor, you could hit malls on the north side of town and malls on the south side of town. One fast food place, one convenience store. You spend, $8, $9, and then you pay with 100, and that means you're coming back with, $90-some of genuine.
Of real money.
Yeah. You could, pocket $1,000 by the end of the day, and you're not really doing much. It's like an ATM that doesn't belong to you.
When counterfeiters do get busted, their stash of fake bills gets sent to the Secret Service, where they're examined, cataloged, used in prosecution, and then destroyed. Some of these fake bills are probably from Peru. Maybe they even passed through the hands of the guys I met.
Esto está bonito, ¿sí?
Increíble.
But even if the Lima scene is shut down, there will be others.
Nunca vamos a vivir eso. Siempre va a haber una persona.
¿Y no te sientes mal haciendo eso?
Sí, está bien, ¿no? Pero es el ingreso. Mucha gente hace lo bueno y al final no gana nada con eso. Todo en esta vida yo creo que tiene riesgos.
Nadie. Nobody's coming.
Con la familia, a veces uno hace hasta lo que no debe pasar.
It's an old con and an old truth. If you're desperate enough to make some money, one option is to make some money.
Let me know when you're ready and we'll bring mine.
Let me tell you something. Money is the root of all evil. A lot of people do a lot of crazy. A lot of people do a lot of crazy.
Why do you scam?
To make money. Make money.
Fast money.
You call it scam, we call it the money game. Who's the best person to scam? Your average, middle class, unsophisticated loser.
They're all Americans.
95%.
Where Americans started? You're stupid. Let me say that again. Very gullible. There are a lot of lonely people there.
Lonely?
Someone is lonely, have a voice in the telephone that always cares.
They just want to talk. Chop.
You're some crazy man.
So don't you feel
Not
bad?
for these people? No, not really. Why should I?
And this game, you can't be sorry. God will provide. God is providing.
Jamaica, Israel, two capitals of a multi-billion-dollar industry. Meet the voice on the other end of that unrecognized number that won't stop calling you.
Hello.
Jamaicans, we are the best at all that we do.
This area is all the tourist area, right?
Yes. Last year we had over 4 million visitors to the island. Montego Bay is the best tourist destination you can find in the world.
Are you trying to sell me on tourism?
Oh yes, you can come at any time. Oh yes, come at any time.
Jamaica. For most of the 1.5 million Americans who visit every year, it mostly looks like this. Tourists like these stay at all-inclusive resorts, like this one, and do this, which leads to this. Tourism is the backbone of Jamaica's legal economy, and the resorts of Montego Bay are the crown jewel. But step outside the walls of your hotel, and it's a different story.
Montego Bay is built in a sort of strange way where you have a mix of the very rich bordering communities with extreme poverty.
Mark Titus is a journalist and former cop. He knows the areas of Montego Bay that don't make it into the tourist brochures.
Welcome to Jamaica.
Day 3 of the state of emergency in St.
2 weeks before I arrived, the governor here declared a state of emergency.
Crime has increased a lot, frankly spurred by gang warfare, mostly organized crime.
The area surrounding Montego Bay, the tourist paradise, now has one of the highest per capita murder rates in the world.
Welcome to the slum where the guns and plenty.
With an uptick in crime in St. James,
But what's causing much of this violence isn't drugs or politics. It's a new hustle.
What are the gangs fighting for?
They are fighting for loot from lottery scamming.
Lottery scams. You're probably familiar with some version. You get a call saying you won a lottery that you don't even remember entering.
You have won yourself $7.5 million in a 2019 Mercedes-Benz S-Class.
That's pretty exciting.
All you need to do to collect whatever they're promising, your millions, your new car, your new house, is to send a processing fee. The prize is fake, of course, but the fee you've been conned into paying generates $300 million a year for Jamaican scammers.
That is scamming.
Guys suddenly who didn't have anything yesterday, today are rotten rich.
Scamming now rivals the drug trade as a lucrative and violent source of revenue for Jamaican gangs.
Guns out, gunfire, gun smoke. As it starts, the smoke, the gun smoke.
I wanted to understand what's referred to here as the game. Meet the players, see see how it's played.
Word of wisdom. Enjoy Jamaica, the best of Jamaica, but be careful. We grew under a culture of informer fided. That means an informer giving information must die.
Mark warned me that it would be difficult to get people to talk about the game. But the rise of scamming can be measured in another popular aspect of Jamaican culture. These lead lists, as they're called, are the backbone of the game. They're valuable, and here in Jamaica, they're bought and sold underground.
So these are some of the places where they're getting the contact lists.
These are some of the places where scammers make millions.
Video creator? Go to Art.
Out of my way, pigeon.